Night. A black Afghan sky burns with tracer fire. 480 United States Marines crouch behind jagged stone, radios hissing into silence. Above them, a single figure lies prone on a ridge, gray-bearded, eyes locked behind a sniper scope. His finger eases the trigger. If he fires, he disobeys every order. If he waits, the battalion dies. This is the moment everything changes. 7 hours earlier, a dusty convoy snakes through a narrow valley. Master Gunnery Sergeant Cole Harris, retired Marine sniper turned civilian advisor, scans the ridgelines. A flicker of movement catches his eye, too far to confirm. He whispers to himself, "Something's wrong." The wind gusts. The flicker is gone. Was it only a goat or the first sign of an ambush? The column halts for a quick check. Young Commander Lieutenant Ryan Brooks studies a glowing tablet. Intel shows a clear route, he says. Cole squints at the cliffs. Maps don't mean much when the enemy writes the script, he replies, voice low. Why did he come back after retirement? The question gnaws at him as the valley tightens around them. Static scratches across the radio. Signal keeps dropping, sir, the tech warns. Brooks waves it off. Cole's stomach knots, high ridges, perfect kill zone. He silently counts sniper nests, 5, maybe 6. Then the birds stop singing. The air itself feels like a held breath. The convoy moves again. Cole lingers, eyes scanning every shadow. A faint metallic glint flashes, scope or sunlight. He grips the worn stock of his personal rifle. That's no sunlight, he mutters. A heartbeat later, a distant click, bolt sliding forward, a sound only a sniper would know. Cole sprints to the lead vehicle. Stop the convoy now. Brooks frowns. On what intel? Before Cole can answer, a mortar shrieks overhead. The valley erupts in a sheet of fire and shrapnel. The ambush has begun. Chaos, rockets streak down the slopes, lighting the night in hellish orange. Marines dive for cover and return fire blind. Radios crackle, then die. Cole's fear is confirmed. They are cut off. This enemy is not here to take prisoners. Pinned behind a Humvee, Cole steadies his cracked scope. Dozens of hostiles fan across the ridges, closing the noose. We can't stay here, he shouts. Brooks yells back. Headquarters says hold position until air support arrives. But with comms dead, air support may never come. Cole reloads, breath steady. Orders or lives, he must choose. Through the smoke, he spots a narrow canyon to the east, a possible escape route. A memory flashes, a promise to a fallen brother never to watch Marines die needlessly again. The decision hardens in his chest. This night is only beginning. If you're already gripped by this true inspired Marine story, tap subscribe and hit like right now, because what Cole Harris does next will defy every rule in the book. The camera fades back to Harris's determined eyes as he shoulders his rifle and slips into the darkness. Cole moves like a shadow along the canyon rim, boots silent on loose gravel. Every sense sharpens, the smell of cordite, the low moans of wounded Marines echoing behind him. He presses a hand to the earth. Vibrations. Enemy fighters are moving fast, closing the trap. Back at the valley floor, Lieutenant Brooks struggles to rally his men. A rocket-propelled grenade explodes against a Humvee, showering sparks. Hold the line, he shouts, voice cracking. The radio remains dead. Panic flickers across young faces, faces far too young for this kind of war. Cole reaches a rocky overlook and peers through his battered scope. Dozens of insurgents pour through a narrow defile, weapons glinting under the moon. They're moving to cut off every possible escape. His mind races. If he takes the high ground alone, he can buy the battalion precious minutes, maybe more. He checks his rifle, the old Marine Corps M40 he kept after retirement. 1 magazine, 8 rounds, 8 lives he can claim before they know he's there. Not enough, but maybe enough to change the math. Back below, Marines scramble for cover as another mortar lands. Lieutenant Brooks curses under his breath. "Where's that air support?" No answer. Only static and the steady percussion of incoming fire. Cole inhales, the world narrowing to a single breath. First target, a mortar crew silhouetted against the ridgeline. Exhale, squeeze. The figure drops. He shifts before the sound reaches the valley. Second target, squad leader raising a signal flare. Down. The canyon briefly belongs to him. In the valley, Marines glance upward. 2 enemy positions fall silent. A ripple of hope stirs, though no one knows who is saving them. Cole whispers to himself, "Move, Harris. Keep moving." He rolls to a new nest just as return fire chews through the rocks where he lay seconds earlier. Bullets snap past his ears, but he stays calm. This is the rhythm he knows, the deadly dance he promised never to do again. Back at the convoy perimeter, Brooks notices the sudden gaps in enemy fire. "Someone's out there," he mutters. Could it be the old sniper? He remembers Cole's warning, the hard certainty in those gray eyes. If it is Harris, the man is fighting a war all his own. Cole spots a second mortar team setting up to the west. They'll have the Marines zeroed in within minutes. He edges forward, gravel sliding under his knees. A single thought drives him. Not today, not these men. The shot rings out, perfect and cold. The mortar collapses, its crew scattering in confusion. But now the enemy knows exactly where he is. A chorus of angry shouts rises in the night. Bullets hammer the rocks around him. A shard of stone slices his cheek. He wipes the blood away and crawls to a narrow ledge, the last defensible spot before the drop. Below, the battalion begins to shift eastward, sensing a slim chance to escape. A burst of gunfire cuts the air. Too close. Cole swivels, firing twice. 2 more silhouettes tumble into darkness. His magazine is nearly empty. He keys his personal handset, praying for a signal. Static, then a crackle. "Brooks, move your men east. Canyon path." The words break apart, but the direction is clear enough. Down in the valley, Brooks hears the faint transmission. "East path," he orders. Marines form up, dragging the wounded, pushing toward the canyon Cole discovered. Cole smiles grimly. "Good. Keep moving," he murmurs. He reloads his last magazine. The enemy regroups, furious. Dozens charge his position, muzzle flashes flickering like angry fireflies. Cole fires, slow and methodical. Each shot by seconds. Seconds for every Marine below. His rifle clicks empty. He draws his sidearm, breathing deep, steady. If this is where it ends, so be it. Far away, a faint rumble builds. Rotor blades chopping the night air. Helicopters. But will they reach the valley in time? Cole leans against the cold rock, heart pounding. This fight is far from over. The rumble of rotor blades grows louder, a low thunder rolling across the mountains. Cole tilts his head, listening. Relief flickers for an instant, then dies. Those birds are still miles out. The Marines have minutes, maybe less. Below, Lieutenant Brooks urges his men through the narrow canyon. "Keep moving. Don't stop." Wounded Marines stagger, supported by their brothers. Every second counts. Behind them, the valley erupts as the enemy realizes their prey is slipping away. Cole presses his back against the rock. His last magazine is spent. Only his sidearm remains. He checks the chamber. 5 rounds. 5 chances to hold the high ground. Enemy fighters fan out, searching. A flashlight beam slices the darkness inches from his boots. He steadies his breath. 1 step closer and they'll see him. He raises the pistol, sights aligned with the beam. The first man rounds the boulder, a muffled shot. The light dies. The others shout in alarm, spraying bullets wildly into the night. Cole crawls higher, every movement deliberate. Pebbles cascade into the abyss below. The next fighter lunges upward, machete glinting. Cole fires again. Another shadow falls. Down in the canyon, Brooks hears the echoing cracks. It can only be Harris. "Whoever you are," he whispers, "keep them off us a little longer." An RPG streaks across the sky, detonating against a cliff and showering the Marines with debris. Screams echo through the narrow passage. Brooks rallies his men. "We're almost clear. Push!" Cole reaches a final perch, a sheer ridge that drops into blackness. He peers through the darkness and spots the enemy commander, an unmistakable silhouette barking orders, rallying his fighters for a last charge. Cole exhales and fires. The figure collapses. The attacking force hesitates, confusion spreading like wildfire. He takes advantage of the pause, firing his remaining rounds in measured rhythm. Each shot buys another heartbeat for the men below. The rumble of helicopters swells, closer now, finally within range. Searchlights cut through the night, sweeping the valley in brilliant white beams. The enemy scatters, retreating into the rocks. Cole lowers the empty pistol and allows himself a single ragged breath, but he isn't safe yet. A lone fighter charges from the side, blade raised. Cole twists, grappling in the dirt. They tumble dangerously close to the cliff's edge. The enemy's knife flashes. Cole blocks with his forearm, pain searing. With a surge of strength, he heaves the attacker aside. The man falls, a silent shape swallowed by the canyon. Cole staggers to his feet, chest heaving. Below, the first helicopter sets down, rotor wash kicking up clouds of dust. Marines scramble aboard, dragging the wounded. Brooks scans the ridge and finally spots him. "Harris!" he shouts, voice carried by the wind. "Get down here!" Cole shakes his head, waving them on. Not until every Marine is safe. The last chopper hovers, waiting. Brooks refuses to leave. "Come on, old man." Cole takes one final sweep of the battlefield, ensuring no more threats remain. Satisfied, he begins the slow climb down, every muscle trembling with exhaustion. He reaches the canyon floor as the final helicopter's engine whines impatiently. Brooks grabs his arm and hauls him aboard. The bird lifts off just as another volley of enemy fire peppers the cliffside. Inside the chopper, Marines stare at him, faces streaked with soot and disbelief. No words are spoken, but their eyes say everything. The narrator's voice softens, drawing the audience in. "You've followed every desperate breath of this escape. If you haven't already, tap subscribe and hit like, because the hardest choice of Cole Harris's life is still ahead, and it will change everything that comes after." The helicopter doors slam shut, sealing the night and its chaos behind them. Inside, the cabin roars with the deafening thump of rotor blades, but the Marines sit in stunned silence. Every face is a mask of exhaustion, awe, and quiet gratitude. Captain Brooks finally breaks the stillness. Who are you, sir?" Cole Harris wipes a streak of blood from his brow. "Just someone who wasn't ready to let you die," he answers, voice barely audible over the engine. The young Marines exchange glances. They all know he disobeyed orders. They all know they owe him their lives. Hours later, back at the forward operating base, Harris steps onto solid ground. The desert dawn is cold and colorless. Before he can catch his breath, two military police approach. "Colonel Harris," one says evenly, "you're ordered to report for debrief immediately." Brooks protests. "He saved us all. You can't—" But Harris raises a hand, stopping him. "I knew the rules before I broke them." The debriefing room is small, sterile, and painfully bright. A panel of stern officers waits behind a long table. A 3-star general sits at the center, eyes unreadable. The air feels heavier than the night of gunfire. The lead investigator begins. "Colonel Harris, you disregarded a direct order and engaged without command authorization. Do you deny it?" Harris meets their gaze. "No, sir." The investigator leans forward. "Do you understand the potential consequences?" "I do," Harris replies, calm as stone. The room falls silent. Then the general finally speaks, voice low and deliberate. Colonel, your actions violated protocol and saved an entire battalion. Every officer turns to the general, surprised. He continues, we do not officially sanction what you did, but we will never forget it. He stands, offering a slow, firm salute. The others follow. For a long heartbeat, Harris hesitates, then returns the salute, eyes glistening. Outside, Brooks waits, anxiety etched into his face. When Harris emerges, the young captain snaps to attention. No reprimand? Harris gives a faint, tired smile. Let's just say the paperwork won't tell the whole story. Brooks exhales, relief flooding his features. Sir, I don't know how to thank you. You already have, Harris says. You kept your men alive. The camera pulls back as Harris walks toward the rising sun, a solitary figure fading into the vast desert. His silhouette grows smaller with every step, yet his legend begins to grow, one whispered story at a time. Heroes like Harris disappear into the background until the world needs them again. If you felt every heartbeat of this night, tap subscribe and hit like, because the next mission will test him and all of us in ways no one expects.